I'm Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, Liverpool 2, Wolves 1 at half time. Liverpool 2-0 up and coasting. Thought it could have been a bit of a cricket score. You come the second half and Wolves probably slightly aggrieved they haven't come away with a point today.
Yeah, there's no shame in losing to this Liverpool side. They're a brilliant team. If you are going to lose the game, it's about losing it in a certain manner. Now, Wolves don't want to lose, of course, but they went out on their shield. They fought in that second half. They were far better, I thought, quality-wise on the ball. The changes, I thought, made a big impact. Manetzi did relatively well, made a few runs. Has to score that big chance, though.
Yeah.
Bellegarde, I thought, was very good in that second half. Made a big impact when he came on. A player like Cunha, who obviously is the talisman of this side, was much better in himself in that second half. A bit of individual quality for the goal, and Wolves had one or two chances to nick a point there at the end. Liverpool were hanging on, and Wolves should take a lot of credit, a lot of pride from being able to run them that close.
Well, what is the difference between the two halves? Because it was so stark. Was it just that maybe Vitor Pereira got the team wrong today, and then the likes of Guedes and Trabi, this wasn't the game for them because you say the substitutes did make such a big difference? Or was it just a bit more belief? Was it they were relaxed, they were 2-0 down almost, so they could go forward a little bit more because they gave Liverpool probably a little bit too much respect in that first half? Yeah,
I think so. I think it's a combination of all of it. I don't think Guedes and Sarabia covered themselves in glory whatsoever. You've got defensive errors and mistakes and sort of comedy of errors that result in the two goals as well. They do have a third penalty, or second penalty rather, would have been a third goal if it had been scored, which was of course chalked off by VAR. But Wolves were, I think, showed a little bit more character, a bit more belief. It also sort of married with the fact that Liverpool sort of reverted into their shell a little bit. And once that goal had gone in, and there was 23 minutes of normal time still to play, another 6 minutes added time on top of that, and it just ramped the pressure up a little bit. This Liverpool side, who obviously are fantastic and have been brilliant all season, have wilted a little bit in the last couple of games, and you could see a little bit of that sort of character, that mentality starting to wane a little bit, and Wolves took advantage of it, but not without taking that final step and just getting that goal. But it was a performance I think in the second half to be pretty proud of. You've got to now take the positives from that into a much bigger game in the course of Wolves' season away at Bournemouth next week. Yeah,
of course, but there will be a frustration. I'm sure that Vitor Pereira will talk about frustration of not coming away with a point today. There were definitely points left out there. Simon Hooper's performance, the referee today in the first half, was debatable at best. Konate taken off at half time because I think everybody thought in the ground was very fortunate to have not had two bookings. I feel like every decision that he made, he got wrong almost in that first half, and he tried to score up, and it just wasn't the right way to do it. At the same time, Wolves conceded 2 goals and both really poor defensive errors.
Yeah, and unfortunately, in particular, Emmanuel Agbadou is involved in sort of a lot of the poor moments for Wolves today. Now, he's been a brilliant signing since arriving in January. We've been nothing but positive and giving him a great appraisal of what he's been able to do. That was his poorest performance by some distance, I think, in a Wolves shirt. Now, in particular, again, that penalty as well, regardless of the second one, which doesn't obviously get overturned, I know mistakes happen, but it's a relatively simple clearance, and to completely miss the ball and then allow Diaz to come through. Jose Sarr doesn't cover himself in glory either, but those kind of mistakes are going to cost the team. And Liverpool, at 2-0 up, they deserve to be leading that game. Of course they did. But if you don't give them those chances and hand them on a silver platter to them, Wolves have got an opportunity to defend something. So that was the most frustrating part of it, really, is just very easily giving Liverpool the advantage, and from there you give yourself a mountain to climb.
Marcel Manetzi looks like a hell of a player. His second substitute appearance, and he plays anywhere from a 6 to a number 9. He's all over the pitch, and I don't want to knock him because I feel like he is incredibly exciting, but what a chance second half. And you look at his chances he's had over the 2 games, Blackburn and Liverpool, he probably should have had at least 2 to 3 goals in this team. And 2-1 at the start, it's a different game, isn't it? And look, you've got to bury those chances. As exciting as he is, as good at positions as he gets himself into, you've got to finish it off.
Yeah, and that's with pretty much the whole of the half still to play. I mean, if he scores that, Wolves are in a great position. I don't know quite how he hasn't scored it. I know, bearing down Alisson's not an easy thing.
It's one-on-one, correct, anyway.
It's a massive chance though, isn't it? And but he's entertaining, isn't he? And he's exciting. And he made a lot of really good runs. And Cunha, who I said much better in that second half, started to pick him out, started to find the passes. It's still remarkable to me that he's playing there as a number 9 pretty much at the moment. And of course that won't be the case once Lars is back and Hwang's fit and players are coming back from injury. But to have a sort of a different kind of player, a different option, someone that Wolves haven't really had for a long time, will add something to this team. So I'm quite excited to see how he gets on. But you are right, you have to score those chances, and you know the Premier League's ruthless, and he'll know that and he'll learn that. You have to take those opportunities.
But you mentioned the likes of Jorgen Strand Larsen potentially coming back at Bournemouth. That's what Vitor Pereira said. Marshall Monetzi, I'm sure, will be pushing for a starting spot sooner rather than later, which means the likes of Guedes and Sarabia, this was a big chance for them, and they're probably going to have to wait on the bench for quite a while to come. Up top, they're looking good, they're looking okay with Hwang to come back as well. But at the back, we'll have to see what it is, because Agbadou came off and didn't look great, did it?
No, and we saw him come back out. He obviously went off and had a shower and everything got changed, come back out towards the end of that half and sat on the bench. And he did look a little bit uncomfortable, sort of limping a little bit. It's hard to say what it is until obviously we get the details, but regardless of his performance, which wasn't good, he is a very good player, and to lose him will be a blow. Now, I'll give Santi Brenner some credit. I thought he did relatively well when he came on in that second half. Didn't really do a lot wrong.
Apart from his first touch.
Apart from his first touch, but that's fine. He didn't do a lot wrong. At the same time, the way the game was going, Wolves were sort of coasting and dominating possession, and it would have been difficult for him to do a lot wrong, but credit where it's due. He did relatively well, and they're going to need him or Giga to perform, because if Agbadou's out for whether it's 6 days or whether it's 4 weeks or whatever it is, they're going to need someone to come in and perform, and he's going to be a big miss.
Yeah. Look, they've got a difficult game away at Bournemouth. Of course they are. Bournemouth are absolutely flying. But at the same time, it starts a run of games where Wolves should be competitive, as they were today, in every game, and looking to start picking up points sooner rather than later. If they play like they did second half, Liam, they should be fine this season, shouldn't they?
I think so. I do. There are players to add to this as well, which we've discussed with Larsen and Hwang, and the players coming back to be available. They've got options. I think defensively they've been a lot better up until some of the mistakes today, with Totti coming back in and Agbadou, his general form. You've still got Giga to add to that. I think Matt Doherty's been very good. I thought he was one of Wolves' better defenders today again. So I do think this team has got enough to stay up. I think the window has helped. However, there's a long way to go, and you've got to pick up points, and you can't miss opportunities. And this was an opportunity today, considering how Liverpool played in that second half and the opportunity in front of them to get that equaliser. You can't miss too many more of them if you're going to stay up.
Liverpool 2, Wolves 1. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressandstar.com.